All right, today we're diving into a really huge shift in technology, AI agents. We're going to be guided by Michael Albada's fantastic O'Reilly book, Building Applications with AI Agents, to really get a handle on what these agents are, how they actually work, and why they're poised to change pretty much everything about how we use software.
So just think for a second about the apps you use every day. They're powerful, for sure, but they're also passive. They just wait for your commands. But what if they could think for themselves? What if your software could actually plan, act, and adapt, all on its own, just to achieve a goal? That right there is the revolutionary idea behind AI agents.
And let's be clear, this isn't just some small update or a new feature. AI agents really represent a fundamental leap, something way beyond the AI we've gotten used to. So let's dig into what makes them so incredibly different.
Okay, so this slide shows the key difference perfectly. Traditional machine learning, it's brilliant, but for very specific static jobs, like telling you if there's a cat in a photo. It works inside these really strict, predefined lines. AI agents, on the other hand, are autonomous. They don't just predict something, they actually plan out a whole sequence of actions and can adapt to changing situations in real time. It's a whole different ballgame.
Now, this shift has a massive impact on how we work. And I love this quote from Michael Albada because it nails it. We're basically moving from being the doers to being the managers. So instead of, say, writing an email from a blank page, you might just find yourself reviewing a draft that an agent has already put together for you.
And the magic behind this whole thing is that agents work asynchronously. That just means they're chugging away in the background, totally independent of your immediate commands. Imagine you're an accountant and you find a payment template already drafted for a new invoice. Or you're a software engineer and you see a first draft of code ready for you to look at the second you open a new ticket. They're anticipating what you need, making you more productive before you even start your task.
So, how do these things actually work? What's going on under the hood? Well, we can actually break it all down into four main components.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. Every agent needs a brain, a set of tools, a notebook, and a strategy. These four parts, the model, the skills, the memory, and the planning, these are the absolute essential building blocks.
First up, you've got the model. This is the agent's brain. It's the core engine that makes all the decisions, and usually it's a super powerful large language model, an LLM. This is what gives the agent its ability to understand complex requests, reason through problems, and make smart choices.
Next, we have skills, which are basically the agent's tools, and they come in two main flavors. You've got local skills. These are internal things, like doing a math calculation. And then you have API-based skills, which are external. They let the agent connect to other services, to grab the latest stock prices or even book a flight for you.
Then there's memory, the agent's notebook. Short-term memory is all about what's happening right now. It keeps track of the current conversation so it doesn't get lost. But long-term memory, that's for the always. It learns from all your past interactions and remembers your preferences, so it gets smarter and more personalized the more you use it.
And finally, we have planning. This is the agent's strategy. It's this incredible ability to take a really big, complex goal like plan a weekend trip to Paris and break it down into a bunch of smaller steps. Find flights, book a hotel, look up restaurants, and then, crucially, execute them in the right order to get the job done.
Okay, so now we know the components. But building an agent isn't just like snapping together some Lego bricks. It involves making some really critical decisions and dealing with some pretty significant trade-offs.
Honestly, the most important first step is just defining the task. An agent is only ever as good as the problem it's built to solve. If the goal is way too broad, the agent just gets overwhelmed. If it's too narrow, well, it's not very useful. And if it's too vague, it has no idea what success even looks like. Getting that objective just right is absolutely everything.
And once you have your task, you're immediately faced with these key trade-offs. For performance, you have to choose, is a fast, kinda good enough answer better than a slower, super precise one? With cost, you have to weigh the high price of development and operations against the actual value the agent delivers. And then there's reliability and scalability. You have to build a system that's both fault-tolerant and can handle growth, all without becoming a nightmare to manage. It's a constant balancing act.
But let's be real for a second. You can build the most technically brilliant, cost-effective agent in the entire world, and it means absolutely nothing if people find it confusing or just plain annoying to use.
A great user experience is totally non-negotiable, and it's built on a few core ideas. You need clarity, so people know what it can and can't do. Trust, so they're confident in the actions it takes. User control, so they always feel like they're in the driver's seat.
And finally, personalization and continuity, which makes the whole interaction feel smooth and uniquely tailored to them over time.
So when you put all of this together, the autonomous power, the core components, and a fantastic user experience, you really start to see the future taking shape. And it's a future where agents are way more than just simple assistants.
And this isn't science fiction. This future is already happening. Agents are already providing 24/7 customer support, helping lawyers pour through research, optimizing ad campaigns, and managing our personal schedules. These applications are real, they're out there, and they're making a huge impact right now.
What this all really means is that our entire relationship with AI is changing in a fundamental way. We're moving way beyond seeing it as just a simple tool we pick up and put down. Agents are actually becoming our collaborators, active partners that help us get our work done.
And that leaves us with a pretty exciting question to chew on. As these autonomous agents grow from just being tools into being our actual teammates, what new heights will we be able to reach? What kinds of problems that we once thought were impossible will we now be able to solve together? It's a future that's definitely worth thinking about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.